I was diagnosed with breast cancer in early April of last year, 2016. I was at my doctor's appointment for my annual mammogram, and I had a lump. I went in for my mammogram, and they sent me across the hall for my ultrasound. And the girl, instead of saying, "Okay, you're all set," she said, "Wait here a minute." And I knew that minute, I just knew that something wasn't okay. So as a nurse who was going through this journey of being diagnosed with cancer and figuring out where I would be treated, who would be treating me, what the treatment would be, because there were choices to make, I knew that I wanted to be treated here at Cortland Regional Medical Center. I hope that I'm a better nurse because of it. I feel like I understand the fear that they're going through. Just because I was an oncology nurse for a grand total of 6 weeks before I became an oncology patient, I had no idea what it felt like to be on the other side. I think as healthcare providers, we really forget that part of it. It is frightening to be stripped down to your underwear and put in a paper gown and laid on a cold table in the middle of a room, surrounded by all those people who are all talking to each other and not necessarily talking to you, but about you. Or when you come to the hospital for your very first treatment, you kind of know what is going to happen, but you really don't, because you've never experienced it. And somebody can tell you what they're going to do, but it's not the same as actually experiencing it. So it's kind of helpful for me. I try to go in with each of the new patients and talk them through when we're accessing their port for the first time, when I think there's a fear that as soon as the chemo starts to go into your body, that you're going to feel it and you're going to react to it, and it's really frightening. And you're just like, how am I going to feel? How am I going to act? Am I going to fall asleep? Am I going to feel nauseous? Am I going to throw up in front of all these people in this room? It's really frightening. So it's really awesome to be able to say, I went through this and I'm going to talk you through it, and anything that you're afraid of or you want to ask, you can ask me. Since having cancer, being diagnosed with cancer and beating it, I think my outlook on life and family and friends has changed, in that I appreciate every day more, and I appreciate any time that I can spend with my children. They're all growing up way too fast. I don't take people for granted anymore. I think that we all kind of tend to do that. We get busy in our own lives and our work and our house or whatever it is that we think is important, and forget that what's really important is relationships and friendships and the people that care about you.